conventional medicine is very reactive rather than proactive. From a patient point of view, that's not very satisfactory. What we want is to identify disease before it happens, before it takes hold, and then to address it. The second problem is that it's not individualized. Everyone's biochemistry and chemistry are totally different. Our genetics and epigenetic are very different. So it makes sense to tailor approach to the individual rather than to have a one-size-fits-all approach. The third industry problem is that it's very doctor-centric rather than customer-centric, and I think that needs to change. Well, my journey started when my mother was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. She went through the regular sort of chemotherapy, radiation, surgery, and she fought very hard for about 6 years. It was, I would say, a degrading death. Her immune system was destroyed by the toxic chemotherapy, and it was during that time, during the 6 years when she was undergoing treatment, that I traveled the world looking for alternative treatments that could help her, and I met a lot of scientists and doctors along the way, and my eyes were open to the potential of proactive healthcare and the fact that there are a lot of treatments out there which are not mainstream commercial approaches, but which are very effective and are very scientifically evidence-based. That's what set me on this course.
This led us to build our medical board and gather all these scientists and doctors together, and we continue to consult them and we continue to share with them our outcomes. They continue to share with us their researches and how we can implement it into our treatments.
My name is Professor Bernd Kleinegung. I'm a longevity doctor from Germany. So I'm a learned gynecologist with a focus on endocrinology, so everything about hormones. Then I did a second degree in nutritional medicine, and once you had the hormones and the nutrition, then that was a good start into the now developing field of anti-aging medicine in the 1990s. And that's what I've been doing for the last almost 25 years. So now I'm the president of the German Society of Anti-Aging Medicine, which is the biggest one in Europe. I've written a number of books on the topic, which have become quite successful in Germany. Yeah, the thing is, when you're in anti-aging and longevity medicine, there is a lot of congresses, there is a lot of knowledge in the field. We know now a lot about the hallmarks of aging and the ways we age and so on. So that is all important, but there have to be people that put it really into practice, that make a longevity clinic out of that. Verita Health is doing that, and of course that is what I'm interested in, because gaining the knowledge is okay, but putting the knowledge into practice is even more important.
I studied molecular biology. I worked for pharmaceutical industry research lab for about 10 years. I have then been to several universities in the USA. I was then senior researcher at the World Health Organization in Vienna, and at all that time I had my research group here at Vienna University, where we do aspects of microbiology, epigenetics, nutrition, and a little bit the translation to practical work for consumers. Well, I know the founder of Verita, Julian, quite a long time, and when we first talked about products and developments in the area like genetics, epigenetics and others, we came into a good contact, and I was really extremely impressed in the way he's doing, and especially also the clinical aspects he's doing there. And so I was really happy when he asked me to join this group and to give some advice there.
We don't just look at anecdotal evidence. Everything that we do has to be science-based. In fact, the reason why we called the group Verita is because it comes from the Latin for the word for truth. This is at the core of what we do. We want to make sure that every treatment and product that they get has been thoroughly researched and verified as commercially safe. We know that 80% of people approximately die from preventable diseases. The first thing you want is not to get a disease which is preventable. We've got amazing diagnostics which enable us to spot the very early stages of chronic diseases which are preventable. And I'm pleased to say that a lot of the projects that we funded in the early years are now being commercialized and brought to the people, including things like early stage cancer detection, which was one of my key motivations at the beginning of the journey.
We were introduced by our medical board to a pioneer cutting-edge treatment where it is mainly a spinal cord stimulation. We funded that research and we were able to commercialize it and bring it to our clients and patients. Patients were able to walk after 20 years of being paralyzed.
Oh, there were a lot of challenges. The first challenge was that the regulatory frameworks, every country has a different regulatory framework for healthcare. But in some countries, certain procedures or protocols are completely mainstream. For example, in Japan, they use natural killer cells for cancer patients in hospital, whereas in other countries, it's totally not allowed. Even in America and Europe, where you think you've got the best medicine available, they're many years behind in certain diagnostics and certain treatment protocols. We now have a footprint which covers Southeast Asia, Australia, Europe and the South American region. We've got an amazing network of university hospitals and laboratories who partner with us. We are working with major property developers and hotel groups who want to set up more medical wellness centers in their properties.
Personally, I think stem cells is the future of medicine, because it's mainly built on regeneration and built on fixing the problem actually in our bodies.
I believe that immunotherapies and stem cell therapies will become mainstream medicine in the next 10 to 20 years, but I'd like to think that Verita is ahead of the curve in that approach. We're now setting up stem cell laboratories in many countries around the world. We've had over 15 years of experience. We're in a very good position when it comes to treating anti-aging or longevity conditions and also in prevention. So whether it be from superficial aesthetics such as skin and hair or joint issues, joint pains, and also to reversing and managing biological age. What we can do now is we measure your biological age using very advanced epigenetic testing. So we can track and measure and benchmark the progress of your biological age following the treatments that we tailor-make for you as an individual. This is not something that's offered by a regular GP or doctor. This is very specific to Verita and one of the things that we've spent many years developing. So what can you expect after all of these treatments? The benefits are multiple. So apart from feeling mentally a lot more clear and focused, you have more energy, you're sleeping better, your muscle mass is being preserved, your sexual vitality is improved, joint aches and pains go away, you're much more able to do sports and perform, your appearance in terms of your skin and your hair looks better. We need to extend healthy, vital lifespan, and that's what we aim to do at Verita. Taking me, for example, my chronological age is 60, whereas my biological age is now about 40. It's great to see through the different interventions that biological age being managed and being reversed step by step.
Looking at what happened over the last 10-15 years brought us to able to prevent and treat chronic diseases and difficult diseases like cancer.
Yeah, one of the things I'm most proud of is that we've become a vertically integrated healthcare group and we can control our own destiny because we're now not only researching but also designing and manufacturing cosmeceuticals, nutraceuticals, as well as equipment and devices. And so we're always able to offer new and progressive approaches for our customers. We offer intelligent, differentiated healthcare. This is something which you can't get from modern medicine. Verita are pioneers in preventative regenerative medicine, but my true hope is that we have created a movement which will spread this type of healthcare approach so that eventually it becomes mainstream and millions of people have healthier, happier lives as a result of that.